we are, back at the sink, ready for another honing session. We got some penguins over here. We need to move them out of the way. We have a razor, and we have a stone. All right? So, it's February. January's over. It's 2023. Moving fast. Can't believe it's February already. And I've been doing some honing. And I've had this for a little while. And I figured I'd do a quick video on it. This is a 1K stone. It's a 1K Morihei, I think is how it's pronounced. And it's pretty cool. You got Tokyo Morihei here. I'm going to drop in some stills that I took when box came. You'll notice that I haven't lapped it yet because I've just been like testing and working with it, and I kind of got it more for like cutlery and stuff like that, but I figured I would use it for razors also if it like panned out. So why did I buy this? Well, my regular bevel setup is my Shapton 1.5K. This is what I use most of the time. I also have a glass stone 1K. I also have 2K stones. I keep coming back to this. It's very much like the Chosera 1K, the green, the bevel setter of choice for so many people. Great speed, good fast stones, hard, splash and go. There's not much else I can say. It's like, pretty much ideal for me. I don't like soakers. I like speedy stones, so the Chosera and this Shapton Pro are good. There's a Shapton 1K that's not as fast. It's softer. I don't like it for bevel setting. It works. You can make bevels with it. I prefer this, right? So if I have this, why do I want something else? Well, I like to try things. Been trying new stones for a long time. So I got this. I've been honing on this side. And so when it came out a couple of years ago, it was sold, it feels like stone, and it has a stone-like feel, a natural stone-like feel. So I like that. I heard it was splash and go, so I like that. The dimension is good. If you look at it next to the Shapton, it's the same length, but you'll see there's a thickness difference, right? So I think the Chosera would be a little longer, actually, but same kind of thickness. And that's not always helpful unless you really need to use the edge. And I have had, on occasion, the opportunity to work over. I had a razor with like a jacked up like heel area, and I just wanted to do some extra grinding up in there. So I used the edge to my advantage, and it was nice to have that. It's not a deal breaker, obviously it's a little dusty. You can see on my fingertips, so I didn't notice that before. But I was using it earlier and let it dry out, so maybe it's from that. Anyway, throw it in the, I have a little, can you see down here? It's underneath the honing bridge. It's a tub, plastic tub. And I put it in, and like you can see, there's no bubbles, right? It's not doing like, that nonsense the Nortons and the Kingstones do, where it's just like, an endless stream of bubbles coming up. And they said, soaking isn't necessary, so like that was good. But you can see here now, right, that the stone is like drying a little bit, right? You see? All right, so like any stone, like any stone is going to do something similar. You keep water handy, and you wet it down. But it's not a soaker, so I like that. So I'm going to try and not get the stabilizer on the stone. I just watched a honing video where the guy's like, he's honing like this. It's like all this is going to do is like destroy your blade, Occasionally I'll run up to the stabilizer just to kind of try and like get that last little bit of edge up on the heel. But can you hear the feed, the audible feedback? So I just adjusted my white balance. So you can hear that. Got a nice sound, right? Now, on a 1K, you'll notice there isn't like a whole lot of swarf happening. People want to judge speed by swarf. You can't do that. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a look at my bevel, and yeah, it's got some good cut. Scratch pattern looks good, real good. Let me try something. Let me just do a side by side. Really nice lettering on the back of this, don't you think? Not that that matters, but when you buy something nice for yourself, if it looks nice or nicer or looks special, like, that feels good. All right, so let me put this down. Now, I don't know if the mic on the camera is able to pick up the difference in sound, okay? But for me, my ears are telling me, okay, that this sounds a little finer. There's a lot of debate over, what a true 1K edge is. And remember, this is 1.5K. And I tend to avoid the discussions about, grit and K, because every manufacturer uses a different type of abrasive. Even if it's aluminum oxide comes a lot of different ways. So particle size is a theory, right? Particle size is based on a spherical relevance. In other words, they map a grain of the abrasive and they figure out what its dimensions are, and then they calculate its volume, and they relate that to the volume of a sphere. They measure the sphere, and that's the grit, okay? So you could have two wildly different particles have the same exact grit, but they will behave totally different than one another. So the whole concept of grit is kind of stupid. It gives you relevance in a series. If you know you have a 1.5K Shapton and you want a finer stone, you need to get either the 2K or the 5K, right? But these internet geniuses, they all want to be embattled about this shit. I think for the most part, they just have too much free time, is what the story is. All right? Let me just wipe this off and take another look. Right, so the polish, the reflectivity, if you want to call it that, is marginally brighter, okay? This is not conclusive, okay? It would take me probably 50 honings to determine objectively, and it would still be somewhat subjective, right? Which one was finer or coarser or whatever. And, I really don't care, because if you really care about that, it's like you're just caring about numbers. You're not caring about what you're doing, right? So here I am with this stone alleged to be 1K, and I want to do some bevel work. Now, this is an Otto Deutsch, it's Solingen. People will say, oh, Solingen steel is soft. It's not soft. It's just that you'll find some Japanese steel, a lot of it, most of it actually will be harder, and so will a lot of Swedish steel. But you have, along with hardness, you have wear resistance to consider. So, I find that a lot of Solingen steel, the vintage stuff especially, has a unique balance of your ability to sharpen it versus edge retention capability, and factoring in the degree of sharpness it can attain, right? So it's a very good balance, right? Very good balance, and I like to hone them because of that balance. The end results are usually very good. Yeah, my favorite steel to shave with is mid 1800s Sheffield, but that's a different story. Anyway, 9 times out of 10, you'll find me if I'm testing stones. You'll find me with a Soligen. And I'm gonna make a video, and I'm gonna have a Sheffield, and someone's gonna send me a message and be like a dick about it. Don't go there. It's like, it's shaving, it's honing. We're taking hair off our face. This isn't like splitting atoms and saving the world from Nazis. Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit more matte going on with this stone than the Shapton. And I think, if everything was equal, you would expect that, right? Because this is 1K and the other is 1.5K. But I think in the sense of having to do the job to set the bevel, I think either one of these two stones would get the job done in a very similar time frame, right? What are we talking about really here? When people say slow, are we talking about taking 5 hours versus 20 minutes, to set a bevel? Or are we talking about 10 minutes versus 12 minutes? People on the internet, they just talk out their ass all the time. Oh, well, no matter what you buy, if I post this on like a forum or a group, someone will be like, oh, it's too expensive. Oh, it's too slow. Oh, I didn't think it was fast enough. Just, you can't get out of that hole of argumentative contrarian bullshit. It's like what those platforms exist for is that tension and that dynamic where people like basically fighting with one another, under the guise of, being helpful and all this. And a lot of people do go there with that intention. So it's not everybody, but you will find that there's a whole bunch of loudmouth bullshit to wade through. So anyway, the feel on this is really nice, okay? I'm going to go so far as to say the feedback on this might be a little more seductive than the Shapton 1.5K, right? You can see it's staying wet, right? Edge to edge, right? A little on the ends, but any stone's going to do that. This is staying wet nice, man. This is really like definitely a true splash and go stone. And it's nice and thick. I think the cost was about the same as like a Chaucera, maybe a little more than the Shapton. I don't know. I'd have to compare. I'm not really here to do a price comparison. I'm just here to like talk about like using the damn thing though. Yeah, I'm really liking the way it feels, man. I mean, it reminds me of the Chaucera and the Shapton with that like stone-like thing, that's for sure. So when they said that, they meant it. They were accurate. Now, I'm not going to do the whole bevel set because, to be honest, this blade, right, is a freaking basket case. And you're like, Keith, what are you talking about? It's a nice-looking Soligen. Yeah, you can't see it, but there's spider webs of devil spit up in here that run into the bevel and the resulting pits where the lines terminate. Almost looks like dendrites in a stone. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Well, we've done a pretty good job of cleaning it up. I only have about 2 or 3 pits in that one area. I've achieved the apex all the way to the toe. There is some weirdness back here at the heel because someone did like this half-assed job of relaxing the heel. It's like they ground it off with a freaking belt sander or some shit. Fucking morons. I just don't understand people. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, like, why are you allowed to do those things? But yeah, the edge has gone both sides. Listen, this is a pretty fast stone. Okay, I will put this in the class of the Chaucera and the what do you call it, Shapton. The cut is good. Maybe not as fine as the 1.5K, but to be expected. Totally usable for me for bevel setting. Straight razors. I have not really gone too far with cutlery. 1K, 2K is about as high as I go with stuff in my kitchen because edges just, they get killed here. There's no point in me putting that kind of time into 5K, 8K, 10K, 12K edge. Like I have a Diva with a 12K edge, and I convert it to a JNAT edge, and I go back and forth. It's like this double-edged sword blade. It's a rescue. Yeah, like when you get a cat that was found in a dumpster and you get him at the the shelter. It's the same kind of thing. It was really abused, and it's not really in great condition, but I can cut stuff with it, and it looks badass. But anyway, I usually stay around like 1K. I can tell you that if I was tuning up my Wusthoffs and my Henkels and my TAs, they would do very, very well on here. To give you an idea of like super blue, or white, 1 or 2, I'd have to get a couple of those blades on here. I can't really say. I think the whites are going to go good. I'm not sure about blue. Blue's got this, like, I don't know. To me, it's got this weird ass wear resistance where it just doesn't like to be on every stone under the sun. But anyway, this is about, this razor, which is probably, right around 60 Rockwell. And it'll shave again. It'll definitely shave again. I got some work to do. Anyway, so that's the Morihei 1K, right? It's a new stone for me. It's been around for a couple of years, though. I mean, I've had it for a while, but, it's new in the arsenal, comparatively speaking. And, yeah, so that's it. Listen, spring is going to be here soon. Between now and then, got some downtime indoors because it's too cold or whatever. Spend time with your family, your loved ones, have some good times. Get the rocks out at night, do some honing, make some great edges, treat yourself right, have some great shaves. Until next time, take care. Talk to you soon.